The next part of the gospel is fishing for people, living for people. These two are never separated. What do we call this? The Great Commission. His first words were really the Great Commission, coming unto me, walking with me. But here's the reality. What's happened in recent years, there's many things that go on in the church, but the biggest danger within the church has become there's motivational speaking. It's become so seeker-friendly. It's more about filling the seats than feeding God's sheep. It's more about filling the seats than discipling and teaching people, saying focus on the way you are walking with the Lord. Do you see the call He has given you? And you say, well, Brian, that sounds radical. What do you mean? Why are you saying it's gotten that way? Well, think about this. When was the last time someone showed up to your doorstep? When was the last time someone showed up to where you were working? Someone you didn't know, and they began to preach the gospel to you? When was the last time someone you didn't know showed up to you and asked you about Jesus? Anyone in the last month? Has this happened? Has anyone been witnessed to by anyone in the last month? A couple of hands, right? But I'm saying that to say this. For many years, there was no Christian that showed up to me and shared the gospel. And what happened one night about 5 years ago was I was feeling sick, so what you should do when you're sick is order a pizza. Amen? No. Brian, sitting on the couch in his pajamas, orders a pizza. His children are there with him. My wife's doing something in the house, and the doorbell rings, and I go out to the door. I open the door, and here's the pizza guy. He's about 40 years of age, little hat on, his car's in the road, and he's opening up the pizza box, giving me the check, and I'm about to write him this tip, and he sees my two children running out. It's dark, it's about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And so what does he say to me? He says what most people say when they're delivering a pizza. He says, do your children like dinosaurs? Has that ever happened to you? The pizza guy starts talking about dinosaurs. I said, well, I think so. They color them, they draw them. How come do you ask? He says, do you know who made dinosaurs? I'm the evangelist, okay? The pizza guy is starting to witness to me. I feel sick. I am off that night. And the guy's asking me about dinosaurs. And I haven't even tipped him yet. This is crazy. And I look at the guy and I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, and I was setting him up. I could kind of tell where he was going. And he said, do you know there's a museum in Florida where they teach all about dinosaurs? They teach all about creation. And many of you right now got where I'm going. I knew where he was going, and listen to me, it blessed me. I knew that he was pointing to a guy called Kent Hovind that has a creation museum in Florida, and it teaches about creation. And you know what it was saying to me? It was saying this guy couldn't care less about pizza. This guy probably couldn't care less about his tip. Here are you standing in front of me, blessing me, witnessing to me, casting a net, following Jesus and fishing for men. And I said to the guy, and listen, this was a blessing. I said, do you mean Kent Hovind? And the guy put his head up. He smiled. I said, I'm a Christian. And as I tipped the guy really well, amen. And he walked, and he wasn't doing it for that. He would have done it anyway. I'm just saying, this guy was there. And it wasn't about his portfolio. It wasn't about some business. Those things are great, don't get me wrong. It wasn't about his agenda, but he couldn't care less about the pizza. There was him witnessing to me. And as I walked from my door, the 15 feet back to my front door, I began to cry. And I went in the house. I didn't even feel like eating pizza. I just said, wow, Lord, this guy right now is out there probably praying over pizza, talking about dinosaurs, following you and casting the net and what? Witnessing to people. You know why that's amazing? Is because no one had ever knocked on my door and talked about Jesus.